That's me, Tony Totals. I live in a city that loves the underdog. In South Philly, sports betting isn't gambling, it's a ritual. I filled out my first football pool at age 7, a 4-teamer for a whopping $5, but I hit that son of a bitch and I never looked back. I played pools all through grade school and started betting with a bookie in high school. Just like you, I've tried everything to crack the code. I've looked up detailed stats, I've listened to my gut, and I even paid for information. Nothing has worked. The end result of all my efforts has been to hand off a few $100 week after week to some fat, sweaty, donut-eating bastard. A few years ago, I started looking at sports betting in a different way. I happened to catch a show about how Vegas sets the lines for sporting events. Did you know that Vegas has a giant supercomputer that fills an entire room? This computer is filled with historical data about teams, players, coaches, and game results. Through sophisticated algorithms, this computer extracts all the relevant facts about both teams in a game. This data is then used to run thousands of simulations on each game. The computer calculates the average difference between the two scores during the simulations and sets that as the line. Nobody is allowed in this room or allowed access to this computer except for some of the brightest statistical minds in the country. Now I ask you, what chance does one handicapper stand against a computer and a half dozen very, very smart people? Do you know what Vegas is hoping we do? They're hoping we waste our time scouring over statistics on the internet. We're looking for buried treasure, and they're laughing at us all the way to the bank. Oh, there is a formula to sports betting. Better psychology plus handicapping ability equals an informed opinion. There's an analytical variable and a psychological variable in the equation. We always try to solve the equation through the analytical variable. The problem is, Vegas uses extensive analytics to set the lines. In a fight over analytics, they're Petey Herman fighting a young Mike Tyson. You can always pay for an opinion because there's a million wolves in sheep's clothing out there that want to sell you one. And no tout ever lets you set your eyes on their secret information. But for $99, they'll gladly tell you what it says. What a sweetheart. As embarrassing as it sounds, I once paid some jerk off $200 to tell me the Falcons would beat John friggin' Elway in the Super Bowl. The whole problem with the tout business is just that. It's become a business. These guys won't think twice about giving out both sides of a game, inflating their record, or pressuring you to bet over your head. The industry has become cheap, sleazy, and ugly. You need to accept the fact an analytical approach won't make you win. But the question still remains, how do we take a psychological approach to sports betting? The answer is, handicappers are already doing this in a very limited way, and they don't even know it. When handicappers look at a sports betting consensus, they are trying to get a glimpse into the psychology of the average bettor. But since no consensus is equipped with the proper tools, they can do no such thing. Here's why. As of right now, online sports books are the only sources donating information to a sports betting consensus. That's right, the books that we're trying to beat are supposedly giving us something to help us do it. Even if the numbers they provided are accurate, and that's a big if, a sports betting consensus means nothing when the entire betting pool is all lumped together. There's important factors they intentionally leave out, like for one, the ability of the handicapper behind the opinion. 2. What are the handicapping strengths and weaknesses of each bettor in the consensus? And are they playing on one of those tendencies here? Sports books would never donate that information. Online sportsbooks are never going to say, hey, 9 of our sharpest NBA bettors all have the Pistons tonight, or 12 of our worst MLB players all have the Mariners tonight. They could if they wanted to, but they'd be out of business. A sports betting consensus that allowed you to isolate segments of the betting pool would allow access into the mindset of a wide range of sports bettors. Online sportsbooks would never sort and organize their information in this way, then serve it up to us on a silver platter. They'd be in deep shit if they did, but that doesn't mean we can't do it for ourselves. I'm talking about a consensus of the bettors, by the bettors, for the bettors. One that takes into account the ability of the handicappers making the picks. For the first time in a very long time, sports bettors will have new information at their fingertips. Information that is not recycled junk that you find everywhere else. I'm not some phony handicapping psychic. I won't be interpreting no mystical charts for you. CommunityCapper.com is a tool that sports bettors will use for themselves, not some tout website for handicappers that have given up. I've laid out the cash to build a network. The tool sorts and organizes the data in a self-explanatory way. CommunityCapper.com is equipped with a sports betting journal. This journal acts like your handicapping psychologist and identifies for you your strengths and weaknesses as a sports bettor. The journal allows the network to get to know you as a handicapper. Then the network groups people of like ability together. No longer will we have to consider a consensus where every bettor's opinion carries the same weight. What I need from you is your opinion. The capabilities needed for this tool to become an indestructible machine are in place. Your part is simple. Make a pit stop at some point to CommunityCapper.com and enter your opinions. 1 minute of effort can provide us with a timeless tool forever. The time is now to start cultivating a sports betting consensus of our own. Help me grow the most detailed, accurate, and informative handicapping tool that sports bettors have ever seen. Sign up today for an account at CommunityCapper.com. See you there.